From the combined crew of blindandroidusers.com and accessibleandroid.com, it's time for your favorite Android podcast. Kick back now and enjoy another fine episode from these fanboys and gals as they navigate Android from a blindness perspective. And now, here's your crew.
Hello and welcome to episode 259 of the Blind Android Users Podcast. I'm Ed Green and I'm joined today by my co-hosts Karine Kawan, Sally Kunders, John Dyer and Warren Carr. And we are coming to you on Saturday the 22nd of November 2025. This week it's really all about the cameras. We're looking at those app categories again, and the camera is the one we are putting under the lens, so to speak. So sit back and listen to us talk about the different options for cameras. That's our Android basics. And in our App of the Week section, Warren demonstrates the Tropical Hurricane Tracker. Well, how are we all? John, what's been going on in Virginia?
It's been pretty good. We have my wife has been off for half the week because we have a friend visiting us and staying with us. So it's been kind of a pretty fun week. A nice change in routine, I guess.
Yeah, that's pretty cool. How long is your friend with you for, or are they nearly on the way back?
They'll be leaving Sunday, so tomorrow.
Oh, okay. A nice visit. Sally, what's happening?
I'm doing great here. Finally, the club football is back, Ed. How are you feeling?
I'm glad about this. I'm surprised you have any referees or players left in the Turkish league to play any football. But
Well, there are more than 200 players are involved in this scandal. So on Monday, we're expecting even more. Let's see what's going to happen. It's crazy, though. Yeah.
Yeah, a massive corruption scandal for those who haven't
Exactly.
spotted it has engulfed Turkish football. Hundreds of officials, loads of players.
Yeah.
It's absolute chaos. Club
Like
presidents. all the
four
rest
referees are arrested a couple of days ago.
Yeah.
They're seriously arrested for being involved in betting and match fixing. Yeah, and apart from that, I'm doing well. It's been a busy week for me, and yeah, I'm glad to be here again. How are you?
I am well. I'm using a new headset today, new headset mic. My other one was on the blink. Also using a new screen reader. I decided I would belatedly check out Chengdu, if anyone has ever played with that. That's
Okay.
the Chinese Windows screen reader. It's a little bit Jishuish in terms of both how you get it activated and because of the fact there's very little documentation. But I am persisting. It's day one. So we will see how we go. And there was also a technology exhibition, an access technology exhibition I went to in London this week called Site Village, where I got to play with lots of new tech. An interesting trend, not really relevant for this, is that there seems to be a lot of Braille Windows laptops coming on stream. So that's a custom built laptop with a Braille display. Insight Vision had one, but there's a new Braille Note coming out next year, the Braille Note Evolve, and something from Access Mind, the Optima, which is using that sort of laptop frameworky thing. So you should be able to upgrade it. Kind of interesting. I don't know if I'll buy one, but yeah, interesting to see. Karine, how are you?
I'm doing well. It's fine here. Actually, I want to say Happy Independence Day to our Lebanese listeners, if we have any, because today is our Independence Day. So yeah, Happy Independence Day.
Happy Independence Day. And I suppose it's Happy I'm Sorry JFK Got Shot Day, isn't it? Wasn't that November the 22nd, 1963? I think, which is very sad. So we should commemorate.
Well,
that.
and also we had the president who was assassinated at that day as well. So, yeah, but it's the Independence Day anyway, yeah.
It's not a good day to be a president, is it? The 22nd of November, I would, I might like abdicate for a day if I was president, let someone else do it and then come back. Warren, how are you?
I'm doing okay. This week, though, has been kind of rather week that was not too good because I had a little cold and it just kind of bothered me a little bit. But I think I'm out of the woods, and therefore I'm feeling good today. And it's been a good week with all of that considered. But everything else has been good, except for those 2 or 3 days that I just was under the weather for a little bit. But other than that, I'm good. And weather-wise, I thought today we're going to be a little bit more sunshiny, but now it's kind of a little bit cloudy out there, and about 45 degrees for the high or something like that. But nah, no sunshine. We're back in a pea soup.
It's cold here. It's been cold all week. When I went to that Access Technology exhibition on Wednesday, I mentioned it snowed, and it never snows in London. And today it's been cold, and daughter and I just got wet, which is very annoying. But yeah, it's cold here too.
And now, the announcement segment. This is a segment dedicated to things we want you to be in the know. And now for this week's episode, here's your announcements.
Let's turn to our announcement section then, and we are coming hot on the heels, aren't we, of our 5-year anniversary, Warren?
We sure are coming up hot on that thing, guys, and we're so excited about this because 5 years, like we indicated last week, is not a simple milestone. I mean, in podcasting, lots of podcasts are usually gone by a year or 2 or whatever, and so for us, sticking with it all this time is such a monumental thing, and we want to be able to just share that joy with you guys, and you guys help us by coming and sharing with us that joy, because it's because of you guys that we're here. If you are not here, if you are not listening to us, we wouldn't be doing this. And so to commemorate and celebrate, we want you guys to come on in and participate, showing that joy, giving us the boost that we need to keep us going for another 5 more years. All right, Ed?
That's right. And it's the 20th, isn't it? Have we said it's Saturday the 20th?
The 20th, you're
Of
correct.
December.
The 20th. Yes.
Yeah.
So put that down on your calendar. I know Sally is very good with the calendars. And so he's going to make sure that we get it right. It's going to be the 20th. And that happens to be Saturday. And I think that was the very week we started. If I'm not mistaken, I think it was the 20th, or the first podcast was either the 18th of December back in 2020. I don't remember now, but it's almost to the same exact day. So join us in celebrating our 5th anniversary as we observe that milestone.
I think it should be the same day, because I think they click round every 5 years, what with leap years and all the rest of it. So I think the 20th of December 2025, if that's a Saturday, it should have been a Saturday in 2020. I'm pretty sure that's right.
I think you're right.
Yeah, I think that's how the dates work. If not, someone can ask their Alexa listener whether it was indeed a Saturday in 2020, but I'm pretty sure it would have been.
Yeah, that's because there's been 2 leap years since then. So yeah, it should be 5 years.
And now, the Android Basics segment. This is a segment where we discuss the things that power your device from behind the scenes. And now, here's this week's episode, Android Basics.
And so we turn to our Android Basics section. We haven't done it for a while, but you'll recall that we occasionally put app categories under the microscope. This is something we've always done, and we revisit them to see if things have changed. So we did book readers not so long ago, and editors and all the rest of it. And this week we thought we would put cameras under the lens, because these are becoming increasingly important. They always were, but with AI and OCR and all the other things that we might want a camera for, it's becoming quite important. So let's talk about those camera apps. And this will vary phone to phone, though we will also talk about some third-party apps as well, I imagine, in here. Warren, do you want to kick us off with this one?
Indeed, Ed. So we're looking at the camera as part of the hardware. Of course, the phone consists of important hardware. And so to me, as a blind person, and not only as a blind person, but I think generally to everyone, though, the camera probably is one of the most important. It used to be maybe the making phone calls is probably one of the most important ones. But as we've moved along, the camera has become such a very important part of any phone. And so it's the most important hardware. And most especially when we look at what it can do, especially for those of us that have visual needs and all of that, I think the camera has become such a very important part. Of course, we know that the TTS engine is something that gets us access to whatever it is. But then we're talking about that camera and what it can do for us in conjunction with all the advancements that we have in software. I'm looking at all the Chat GPTs, the Geminis, and all the other ones, the Claudes, all the AI stuff. Most of them, though, when coupled with the camera, becomes a powerhouse there that unleashes all kinds of potentials and opportunities for those of us that are blind. And so, frankly, I don't think we can, over emphasize the importance of the camera hardware and then how it interacts. And so let's start, though, because I always go back to history. And Samsung, I'm looking at you. I think those guys actually were the very first ones to give us access to the camera. I remember those guys on the other aisle on the Fruitvale, you guys on iOS. I refer to you guys as the Fruitvalers. And so I know that you guys had the camera or face recognition back then that we didn't have. And when Samsung had it in 2014 with the introduction of the Galaxy S5, I thought that was a game changer for those of us on Android. And that was the start of it. And I'm surprised that Samsung, though, being the father of, this face recognition, hasn't leapfrogged everyone else in Android and seeing Google with what Google is doing. I think there's such a problem here with Samsung not paying attention to it. But so it was back then in 2014 that we had that. And I remember there was a third-party alternative. It was called the Back Selfie. I don't remember the name of the app. I demonstrated it back then for inclusive Android, but it was Back Selfie camera, something that has to do with face recognition. That was the only way that a non-Samsung Galaxy S4 user could use in order to be able to let someone know or that there's a face in the camera. And then, of course, contacted the guy with the open camera, and then he introduced that. And so those were the two, the Back Selfie camera and the open camera, that had that functionality. Google didn't even have it. John, do you remember when Google introduced the face recognition for the Pixel phone? I want to say, could that be, I think maybe, it wasn't too long ago, right? Maybe 4 years?
No, just a couple years ago. Maybe
Yeah.
2 or 3.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I think give or take maybe 4. I mean, at least the one that will say this face in the camera. I don't remember exactly when that started. I want to say maybe 2019 or maybe 2020. I may be wrong, but so you
Are you
guys,
talking about guided frame or just
no,
face
no, no,
detection?
not the guided frame, just
Oh,
the
okay.
face recognition.
Yeah, that was a while ago.
Yeah. But prior to that, we didn't have that. The only way that we had that on Android was with the Samsung phone, starting back with the S5 in 2014. And then we have camera apps like that back camera selfie and the open camera. Those were the ones that have that. And now, so let's talk about what that entails to us as blind people. We know there's all sorts of stuff that we can do with the camera. For me, one of the most important ones is the guided frames that we have on the Pixel camera, because not only does it do the facial stuff and tells you how to move the camera this way and that way, but then most importantly, when it gets it right. It just tells you to hold, and it takes a picture for you, and it sets it apart from any other one. Not even the Fruitvale comes close, because I know that I used to be able to try to take pictures. I can see a little bit, but then my wife helped me in how to keep the phone straight, because sometimes you're holding the phone and it's a little bit tilted, and so you have somebody's picture and it looks like they're kind of a little bit leaning the other way. And so I've learned to kind of make it steady, and now with the guided frame capability, I don't have to really worry about that, because it makes that magic happen.
So let's start app by app then. So on the guided frames, will it only pick up faces, or will it pick up other things in the scenes that it thinks you might want to focus on?
So earlier on last month, that was October, so I had planted some pumpkins in my backyard, and I took them off for the Halloween, and I went to take a picture of them. And actually, my guided frame told me there were some pumpkins in there, and I held it to take a picture of them. And also, another one that I like is it recognizes pets as well. So I've shot a lot of pictures of cats here. And Joe Hodge, I'm looking at you, man. You like them cats. So you had a demo for us. And so a shout out to Joe there for doing the cat thing out here and taking pictures of cat. But I like the fact that we could have that pet recognition, and also there's some documents recognition in there. For example, if you pointed at a document, it seems to recognize that. So I think it's becoming more and more usable for different things, just outside of taking pictures of humans, but it recognizes other things. And I think that's how it ought to be. Generally speaking, all the cameras should be like that, so that if I'm pointing it at something, I should be able to know what it is that I'm pointing it at. If I'm pointing it at 8 feet, say I see a couple feet in there, 8, I'm looking at you.
Yeah, and it'll even describe multiple things at once. Like, for example, my son was sitting in a chair next to the cat, and it said detected one person and one animal. Move right to keep both in frame, or something similar to that. So it will, if there's multiple things, it will tell you there's more than one thing.
And will it decide what it thinks you want to focus on? So a face is ready. Will it do the hold steady if you had moved it right to get your son and the cat in frame, or would you have had to initiate the photo?
Once you get it where it thinks you want it to be, it'll start the countdown. So like if it tells you, like in the example I just gave, if it says move right to get both centered in frame, once you've moved right to where it thinks it's centered, it'll start the countdown. You'll hear it, a little bell start counting down. You can do that, or you can take the picture. When it comes to animals and cats, you might not want to wait that 3 seconds to get the picture. So once you hear the sound letting you know that it's in the right place, you can press the volume key to take the picture yourself, or double tap if you have the camera button in focus, which you will have the camera button in focus because that's when guided frame works, is when TalkBack has the camera button, the shutter button, I should say, in focus. So yeah, you can manually take it, or you can just wait for the countdown.
And in terms of my appendages as well, just for clarity, like my feet might not be in focus, but if it's a face thing, my hands may well be in focus, pulling on those cheeks. So it may well say face, Ed's hands,
Ed, are you afraid of your shoes, or what are you hiding?
Well, not really, but like presumably people don't want my feet on their cheeks, I imagine. So I tend to go for their hands. I just think
you have the strange thing
socially
about
acceptable.
Yeah. You're pulling cheeks. So maybe someone should be pulling your legs.
well, if you want me to put my feet on your cheeks instead of my hands, then we can rock and roll that. But that, admittedly, although pulling cheeks is strange, that feels a whole different level of strangeness to put my feet on your cheeks. But if that's where you want to go, we can try that.
Yeah, but John, you talked about that cat thing, because I got a couple cats. We got a couple. My daughter has a couple cats, and for some reason they like to lay down on our bed, and so I take pictures of them, and it'll say 2 pets in in the frame, and it actually even tells me what type of cats there are. So it's really very interesting
And
thing in there.
we should point out there's also Google introduced the scene description feature this year, where if you swipe down with 2 fingers, it'll describe the scene to you. So if you want more details, then just let it guess what types of things I want to focus on and direct me. Like you can get a more detailed description of everything within the frame before you take the photo if you want to.
And how would that compare to something like using Lookout, say? Would it be similar, or?
I think it's about similar.
Yeah.
I don't think you can't like ask follow-up questions or anything like that. You're kind of stuck with whatever it tells you, but it seems very similar.
Yeah. Should we talk about some other camera apps? With Samsung, we decided was pretty limited. It will only tell you about faces, won't it? Pretty much.
Yes, it just says whether a face is detected or not, and it tells you like what percentage of the frame it's taking up. But other than that, it's just a regular camera. I mean, it works. It's accessible, and the video camera works a lot better than on the Pixel. We should have mentioned this during the Pixel part. If you're planning on recording videos, you're probably not going to want to use a Pixel, at least in its current state, because the videos just sound horrible with TalkBack enabled. It tries to do some sort of noise cancellation, and it just makes the sound in the video not great. So the videos sound much better on basically every other kind of Android phone.
Does guided frames work on video?
No, it doesn't.
No.
So it sucks because I would like the Pixel, like if I could take the Pixel camera app and put it on my Samsung phone, at this point in time I would not because of the video issue. But I do love guided frame and the scene descriptions. So like the photo part of the Pixel camera is awesome. I love it. It's just they need to fix that issue with the video.
Yeah, but you don't get much accessibility on any video, do you? Like Samsung, I don't think the face thing works on video. Sounds like guided frame doesn't work on Pixel when you're doing video. Not that you would want it, as you say, with TalkBack. But...
Now, I haven't tried it, and maybe I should. Or maybe Warren can try it if he has a Pixel nearby. I'm assuming that if you're about to record a video, you could use the scene description feature, like swiping down to just have it describe everything before you start the recording. But I don't see why that wouldn't work. I mean, it wouldn't be much difference than just having it in photo. Even if you had to be in photo mode, get the description and then switch to video mode to start recording. Yeah.
Now, John, talking about the guided frames and how it behaves with videos, unfortunately, that does not work with the guided frames on, most especially if you switch on to the video mode, for example. So it's not going to tell you. Neither would it work when you do a scene description if you're in the video mode. And I can probably see why they make it that way if indeed the screen reader gets picked up during the recording. I don't want to hear my screen reader coming on when I'm doing a video recording. And probably maybe this is why they were considering that in maybe eliminating TalkBack coming in during a video recording, and which winds up in just messing up the video because of the noise cancellation. I think we need a better experience if they could fix it to where I should be able to hear my screen. And most especially if I'm going to do video, maybe I should be able to use it on, let's say I should have my headset in, or you guys that like earbuds, you should have that on and be able to hear my screen reader on there. But we've got to find a better way of using the screen reader during a video recording, because if we have the video, the sound of the video getting gobbled or not, or coming in as a monaural because I have my screen reader on and it's trying to filter that out, then we don't have a good thing. And on the other hand, if it comes on good with a stereo sound and yet my screen reader can be picked up, that also is not good. So I think we need to find a better solution to it, because neither one works good.
Yeah, it needs because it's not actually TalkBack that's causing the problem. Like if you open the video, I usually ask Gemini, start recording a video, and I have TalkBack turned off. It'll open the camera and start recording the video for you. Even if you turn on TalkBack during the recording, it'll still be recording in high quality without trying to cancel any noise. And of course, you'll hear TalkBack if TalkBack's talking, but that's how it's always been. So it's like the camera app itself is looking to see if TalkBack is running, and if it is, it's going to record sound in this awful way to try to cancel out the screen reader. It's like, just let me, as the user, mute the screen reader if I don't want the screen reader talking during my, recording.
Exactly. Yeah. And so that's why I'm thinking it needs to be better implemented. You detect that I have it, but then maybe kind of give me a hint. Of course, I know that my screen reader is going to come in there. And so before I start the video recording, like you said, John, for example, if I'm already on the button, my screen reader is focused on the button, and I could just use a gesture to, mute my screen reader and just tap to start the recording. Of course, you always hear that little chime or little whatever when the video starts recording. So, yeah, I think in the effort of trying to help us, it kind of winds up hurting us in certain ways, if I could say it that way. But that's exactly what it does. They think that they're helping us, but it's not helping us.
Yeah, it's not the duty.
Okay, Karine, sorry.
It's not the job of the camera to decide what sounds should be filtered out and what sounds should be there. I mean, they shouldn't. The camera shouldn't decide this at all. So if my screen reader is going, like if the sound of my screen reader is heard, it's normal because it's a sound and it should capture it as any other sound. I should find a solution, better solution, like a workaround, maybe using a headset, whatever. They could give me maybe an option to silence my screen reader, but nothing more than that. Other than that, it's interference and something that the camera shouldn't intervene in.
Yeah, I agree.
That was actually going to be my question. If you record video with TalkBack and you don't suspend TalkBack, but you turn the speech off, does it still compress it?
Yes, it will. So even if you turn TalkBack completely off during the recording, it's already, like, the camera has already decided to cancel out sound. So it will just be like that for the entirety of the recording. I think even if you open the camera app, go to the video recording mode, turn TalkBack off, and then start a recording, I think it's still going to record canceling out sound because as soon as you went into that camera mode, it looked to see. I mean, I don't know what's going on, but this is what it seems like to me because I've tested it a lot. It's like it looks to see if TalkBack's on when you first open that video recording portion of the app, and even if you turn off TalkBack before you start the recording, this recording is still going to sound bad.
And for completeness, Warren certainly won't know the answer to this. And to be fair, I don't know if you would either, John. Would it also try and do that with G-Show on a Pixel?
My guess is that if you had used the spoofing feature for Jishuo, maybe.
Yeah, well,
but that's just a guess.
Yeah, John, you do have the Joshua screen reader, right? The confused screen reader. You could try that and see what happens. But I think probably it may and may not. But I want to lean on the fact that it may do the same thing because it's looking at what accessibility service is running when one launches that camera. So if one launches the camera app with the confused screen reader running because it's an accessibility service, I'm kind of leaning on that side, thinking that it may do the same thing, and yet in the same breath, it may not. So I think the only way to find out is to try it and see what happens.
I think, Warren, you've nailed that with absolutely insightful punditry there. It either may or may not. It's like asking for directions. It's like, well, do you know where this space is? Well, it's either left or right. I'm like, yeah, I got that. We're at a dead end. Yeah, I got that far too. So yeah. Well
yeah,
done,
but Ed, you do have a Pixel and you do have the confused screen reader, right? You could try it.
But I don't have the Pixel 10. Does it do it on all Pixels? I thought it
No,
was just the
no,
latest
yeah, it
one.
does it on all
Oh, yeah.
Pixels. It
It's
doesn't
been
have
a problem for at least a
Forever?
year now.
Yeah, and even Pixel 6 will
So is
do
it software? Oh, okay, so I'll put it'll have to be the non-premium version, but I can put G-Shock on
Yeah.
Pixel 7 and see what it does.
Exactly. I want to know
Yeah.
what it is. I'm curious.
Yeah, and try it with
Space.
both the spoofing and the Joshua main service to see if there's any difference.
Well, presumably spoofing is more likely. Yeah, spoofing's more likely to make it happen, isn't it?
Yeah, I think so.
If main service
I think so.
does it, yeah, I would have thought so. Yeah. Yeah. Okay. Spoofing's a premium feature, isn't it, or not? Is it
No, but you
standard?
can't use the Joshua Lite. You have to use a Joshua Plus for that.
Plus, yeah, I think that's the file I've got anyway. So, okay, stick it on a Pixel 7, see what it does. So the other allied feature to camera apps, I think, in a way, is QR code scanning, and there are dedicated apps for that, but it's kind of handy if the camera app will do it. I think the Samsung camera app does do QR code scanning, doesn't it?
Yeah, it does.
You just
Yeah, it's able to do that. Yeah, I'm doing it a lot.
Yeah, and does the Pixel camera app do that as well?
Yeah, it does.
Yeah.
So you could just either launch the camera or you could just launch the QR code reader from the quick panel, just like you would with the Samsung one. They all now do the same thing.
Yeah. So you don't really need those annoying QR code ad-ridden scanners that you used to have, which I think is a good thing. Just rely on your phone.
Yeah, well, so Ed, talking about those QR code readers, I think that a lot of the time, and I'm not saying there's any fault with the solutions that we have, especially in our blind world, looking at Envisions and all of that. But there are a lot of some of the malware, some of the regular QR code readers there on the Play Store. People try to inject all this bad stuff in those type of apps, and such an unfortunate thing. But at least for those of us who are blind and we use these dedicated ones, if one wanted to, if you want to use Envision or if you want to use the one in Lookout. The one in Lookout, I don't know why it has it as a food label. We should have like a dedicated one, but I don't know if there's a need really for dedicated QR code reader now that we could use the camera ones that come with our cameras.
Yeah, and a lot of them don't even do proper QR code scanning anyway. They will scan what they call an accessible QR, which isn't the same thing. I think Seeing Assistant Home might have a proper QR code scanner in it, but a lot of them are not quite that, and they are sort of barcodey. But yeah, like you say, the camera app QR code scanner is probably going to be the way to go.
Yeah, so talking about that, this week, so my wife and I, for some reason, she wasn't getting into the Disney for some reason. She could get into Hulu, and it kept saying the password is incorrect when she tries to sign into the Disney app, on the TV. And so it kind of, I'm like, okay, let's try this. So I tried to sign in with my account, and I was getting the same thing, but then it sent me a code, and then it displays a QR code on the TV. And it's so nice. I was able to use the camera, and I was way across the room, the media room, and I pointed it, and it grabbed it, and right in and there it works. So yeah, I'm a native first kind of guy. If there's something that is being done natively, that's possible to do natively, I want that solution, because you're not then chasing after the wind and trying to find out which app works and which one doesn't work. But if that native thing is not working, then it's time to look at a third party.
Yeah, and with the native solution, it's faster too, because most Android phones just have a double press. I mean, obviously you could change it, but a double press of the side key will take you directly into the camera, and then you're already scanning the code, and it's just faster than trying to find a different app to do it.
Yeah, exactly. And just outside of cameras, I have found Disney Plus to be the most super sensitive, super fragile when it comes to login and authorization apps of possibly any app I've ever used. Like if it will throw a fit, it's going to be Disney that does it. It'll occasionally tell me I'm in the wrong country and it won't work, even though I don't even have a VPN, and you have to do all sorts of nonsense. Luckily, all the nonsense is documented, but I don't quite know why Disney does this and no other app does. Rant over about Disney Plus.
Yeah, well, the rant is welcome, Ed, because it was doing the same thing, and I got tired of it. I'm like, you know what, F that. I'm gonna excuse my Espanol, guys, but I had to say, well, you know what, I'm gonna just forget about all that password. So I had to change the password, and that's how we got into it. But the funny thing is that because it comes bundled with Hulu was working, but not Disney. How do you how do you clarify that? So I'm using the same password that I was using with Disney prior, and so Hulu takes it, and yet Disney wasn't taking it. It just didn't make sense at all.
You think that's confusing? I have Disney Plus, Hulu, and HBO Max all bundled.
Yeah, no, I don't have that. I have the ESPN, bundle with that, and we don't even watch ESPN. But yeah, Disney, like you said, it can be a little bit touchy, or Disney Plus.
Yeah,
a little bit touchy.
I was going to say, what on earth have you got ESPN for?
I know. Well, it came with it, so it just grandfathered into it because
at least it's just ESPN Plus. I doubt he has unlimited because that's like $40 a month.
Yeah. So I know it's the ad supported one or something. But it got grandfathered into the same way that Hulu got grandfathered in, because when I got it, I got all three together.
Yeah, I can see why I might have ESPN, or why John might have ESPN, or Sally might have ESPN. But no, I'm surprised that you have it. But that's quite funny.
I just have one quick advice. It's to try to familiarize yourself with the camera basics, the alignment, orientation, everything related to cameras, at least the basics. So you can at least try to use it as it should. Like, for example, when you have a video call, at least to try to let your face appear in the camera as it should be. So these basics are really important. So give yourself some time, maybe ask a sighted person to help you in at least learning some of the essential stuff related to camera.
I agree with that. And one tip for free, which everyone might know, but it possibly isn't obvious. My suspicion is that most blind people use their phone in portrait mode. Almost everybody takes a picture with their camera in landscape mode, not in portrait.
Especially if it's of a landscape.
Yeah.
Or even if it's not, like if it's of a cheek pull, then even so, still in landscape.
But, so frankly, I only take pictures in the landscape mode if the coverage that I need is a wider thing. Maybe if like 3 or 4 or more people in the picture. If not, I don't see the need of taking a picture in a landscape. I mean, even if it's a regular, unless of course you want to show a lot of the background that's surrounding the person or else. For me, as a rule of thumb, I only take landscape pictures if I have more than 4 people in the camera view.
That's interesting, because my wife and most sighted people I know will never take a portrait picture. What does Julia do? Does she take in portrait?
Yeah, Julia is very good at photography, and so is her daughter, who does it professionally. But yeah, if it's if there's not a lot of people in the picture, never take a picture in the landscape
I
mode.
think if it's like a
But is that
selfie,
what Julie does?
if it's a selfie,
yeah.
you're probably doing it in portrait. But if it's something, if you're using the main camera, it's probably something that's far enough away that you're going to want to do landscape to catch more of it.
Yeah, like if you want to show some of the whatever that is in there, for example, you could do that. But so it totally depends. Like I said, for me, and like my stepdaughter, that's what she does for a living. Does all the wedding stuff and all that. She does the car races, covers those things as well. So I take a lot of tips from her. So if you're looking for wider coverage, then use the landscape mode. But if not, you do the portrait mode. That's what she does. I also want to, add to what Karen said, that it's important we learn how to hold these things, for example, so that you know how to point that camera. I know a lot of us have that problem with spatial orientation. Is very difficult. But with all this newer stuff guiding us, and this is why it's very important that we have every camera. I wish that every phone, rather, on Android has access to the Google camera. I don't know what it would take in order for that to happen, but in my never to be humble opinion, we should have that on every Android device. And I don't know why Google is not working hard on that to make that become a possibility. That will help with a lot of all that special orientation that some blind people tend to have. Up next is the App of the Week segment. This is a segment dedicated to app demonstrations. Should you have an app that you would like to demonstrate for our listeners, feel free to send us the recording of such an app demo to contact us at blindandroidusers.com. And now for this week's episode, here's your App of the Week.
And we conclude this week's episode with an App of the Week, where Warren demonstrates the Tropical Hurricane Tracker.
Hi, Warren here for Blind Android Users Podcast. And as we continue with our App of the Week series for episode 259, App of the Week, this is demonstrating a weather app simply called Hurricane Tracker. For today's demonstration, I'm utilizing my Galaxy S23 Plus running One UI 8. And for speech synthesis, I am utilizing the beta for Eloquence. I am on the home page, that is on the play page of Hurricane Tracker, and will now navigate my way though to the About, and let's hear what the description of the app is, and then we'll come back and tap on the Open. I have installed it, but I haven't started running it yet, so now I'll navigate to the About.
About this app. Heading. Google Play Store. Tropical Hurricane Tracker. Details. Up-to-date information about tropical cyclone activity. Tropical Hurricane Tracker provides the most up-to-date information about hurricanes, tropical storms, and disturbances in the Atlantic, Central Pacific, and Eastern Pacific basins. Most apps are overly complicated and cluttered with information. Tropical Hurricane Tracker offers the unique ability to easily navigate through multiple data points to find the information you need to keep track of these potentially devastating storms. At JPL Tech, we are committed to learning and improving. We welcome feedback that will help us continue to develop this app to best suit the needs of our users. Our goal is to create an app that is easy for everyone to access, especially those in hurricane-prone areas. If there is a feature you would like to see, please let us know by contacting us within the app. Features include hurricane tracking maps by region, Central Pacific, Eastern North Pacific, Atlantic, NOAA forecasts, interactive global map, push notifications, ensemble models, historic seasonal maps, historic storm tracks, Saffir-Simpson scale, safety and preparedness information, privacy and feedback. If you have any questions or suggestions about our service, please do not hesitate to get in touch at @HURRICANE@sputec.com. Privacy policy, https sputec.com privacy policy. Terms of use, https sputec.com terms of use. App info. Version 4.3.4. Updated on November 18th, 2025. Downloads. 500,000 downloads. Required OS. Android 7.1 and up. In-app purchases. 1.99-6.99 per item. Offered by JPL Technical Solutions. Released on July 27th, 2020.
And that's both the description of the app and its history. I'm now going back though to that installation page and tap on that Open.
Play Store. About this app. Button. Open. Hurricane. Tropical Hurricane Tracker.
And I'm simply going to put my finger down and read the information.
Thank you for downloading Tropical Hurricane Tracker. We are always working hard to provide the most accurate and real-time storm information.
And now I'm going to swipe from left to right with one finger and then triple tap with two fingers to read the entire screen.
Black Star. Black Star. Hurricanes are tropical storms that occur in the Atlantic Ocean and Northeast Pacific Ocean. Black Star. Typhoons are formed over the Northwest Pacific Ocean. Black Star. Cyclones are formed over the South Pacific and Indian Ocean. Tropical Hurricane Tracker is currently designed to track hurricanes only. However, we are working on adding other basins in the near future. Select your default region. This can be changed within the settings menu. Atlantic. Central Pacific. Eastern Pacific. Use of this app requires that you agree to our terms of use and review our privacy policy. Period. I agree.
And that's the information that we heard from what was being read. And after all of that, you've got the three regions to select from. So if you're in one of these areas, then you could select that. I'm not in any of those areas, for example, but I'm just going to pretend that I'm in one of those. I'm going to tap on the Atlantic.
Atlantic.
All right, and now I'm going to scroll to the bottom and tap on
I agree.
this I agree there on the bottom left. It's kind of elongated button. We're now on the next page, and at the top we hear,
Tropical Hurricane Tracker.
and moving my finger down,
Tropical Hurricane Tracker will provide real-time storm updates to your device via push notifications.
and below that,
Push notification type.
we got the push notification type.
Text plus graphic.
Next,
Text only.
next,
Select push notification regions.
next,
This can be changed within the notifications menu.
and we got the following.
Atlantic. Central Pacific. Eastern Pacific. West Pacific. Indian Ocean. Southern Hemisphere. Continue.
And continue there at the bottom. I'm going to tap continue.
Allow hurricane to send you notifications. Allow. Button.
I'm going to allow it because this is weather related, and if you're in those areas, you need to allow it.
To enhance your experience, we utilize your location to offer personalized weather updates and location-specific content. This allows us to deliver content that is directly pertinent to you. Part of our commitment to constant innovation and improvement involves sharing location data stripped of identifiers such as device identifiers made with trusted third-party researchers. This helps us understand user preferences better and contributes to our ongoing efforts to refine and tailor our services. Your privacy is important to us, and our data sharing practices are designed to prioritize your security and respect your privacy.
And
Continue.
I'm going to tap continue here.
Allow hurricane to access this device's location. Selected. Precise. Radio button.
And I'm going to choose while using
Not
the
selected.
app.
Approximate. While using the app. Button. Hurricane. Hurricane. Drawer menu.
We're on the next page, and the first thing we heard was a drawer menu, which is there on the top left corner. And moving right,
Atlantic. Heading.
we hear the Atlantic, and that's what we have selected earlier.
Atlantic hurricane season. Ends in 10 days.
So it ends in 10 days.
No tropical cyclone activity. June 1st - November 30th. Stay tuned for the most up-to-date information. NWS National Hurricane Center, Miami, Florida, 100 p.m. EST, Thursday, November 20th, 2025 for the North Atlantic, Caribbean Sea and the Gulf of America. Tropical cyclone formation is not expected during the next 7 days.
Moving on.
Tropical outlook.
Next.
Weather discussion.
Next.
High seas forecast. 2025 storm names. Andrea. Humberto. Olga. Barry. Imelda. Pablo. Chantal. Jerry. Rebecca. Dexter. Karen. Sebastian. Aaron. Lorenzo. Tanya. Fernand. Melissa. Van.
And on it goes. So they could just pick out of any of these and give it to whichever hurricane that comes along. And moving on down, we got
regional imagery.
Moving on down.
Historical data.
Moving next.
Seasonal maps.
Next.
Storm tracks.
And below that, we have some tabs. Starting from the bottom left and going right, we've got
Map. Tab.
To the right of that.
Selected. Atlantic region. Tab.
That's the one that's selected by default because I chose that. To the right of that.
Eastern Pacific region.
To
Tab.
the right of that.
Central Pacific region. Tab.
To the right of that.
Other region. Tab.
And Other region tab. Let's go back though to the top left corner and look at that open drawer and see what items we find in that open drawer.
Drawer menu. Tropical Hurricane Tracker.
Tapping on the drawer, here's what we got.
V4.3.4. Remove ADS. Button.
Remove ads. We're going to come back to see how much that would cost.
Drawer premium.
The premium.
Selected. Active storms. Button. Drawer active. Seasonal maps. Button. Storm tracks. Button. Tropical cyclone info. Button. Saffir-Simpson scale. Button. Safety and preparedness. Buoy data. Button. Feedback. Button. Notif settings. Button. App info. Button.
And that's the last item. Let's go back though to that settings and see what we have.
Settings. Button. Settings. Default region.
Tapping on settings, the first thing we heard was default region. Moving on down.
Atlantic. Central Pacific. Eastern Pacific. Orientation. Auto. Landscape. Portrait. Theme. Auto. Dark. Light. Measurement. Imperial. Metric. Language. Auto. English. Spanish. French.
Those are the languages you could choose from.
Location. GPS. Manual. Off. Miscellaneous. Premium features.
And that's the last item. Let's go ahead and take a look at that premium.
Premium features. Premium.
Tapping on premium features, we got.
No ads forever, 6.99.
So $7 if you want to buy it.
No ads 1 year, 1.99. Restore purchases.
And that's the last item there. That would be that demonstration of the Hurricane Tracker. You can go into this and just explore it on your own, but basically just giving you a quick overview of what the app is. And so if you happen to be in one of those areas, you probably should install this and keep track of what's hitting your area. Thanks for listening. And as always, if you like what we're doing, do not forget to subscribe to our YouTube channel. Thanks again for listening. So actually, I think I like the app if one were living in an area that has those occurrences happening in that area, because I had chosen the Atlantic thing. And so earlier today, it was showing me some stuff that were going to be happening in Florida or things that were not happening and stuff like that. So actually the app works and one could buy it, that $7 price, one-time buy or the annual $2 purchase. It's not a bad app. I like it, and most especially, I didn't find any accessibility problems with it. So if you live in a hurricane area, you live in a typhoon area or whatever, probably you should give it a try and see if it works for you.
Yeah, definitely.
All good things must end. Thus, it's curtain drawing time, bringing us to the close of this week's episode. Coming up, though, we give you information on how to get hold of us.
Well, that's it for this week, folks. John, how can people get in touch with us?
To contact us, simply send an email to contactus@blindandroidusers.com. If you'd prefer, you can leave a voicemail by calling +1 307 202 9797. You can join our mailing list by sending a blank email to blindandroidusers+subscribe@groups.io. You can join our Facebook and Telegram groups or subscribe to our YouTube channel using the links in the podcast show notes or YouTube video description. And you can find all of this information and more at our website, blindandroidusers.com.
That brings us to the end of this episode. Say bye-bye to the nice people, everybody.
Bye, everyone. And again, thank you so much for listening. Looking forward to seeing you guys next week. And I just want to reiterate that we have that 5th anniversary coming up on December 20th. So be prepping for that as well. Goodbye, guys. Keep that home fire burning.
Have a great week. Thanks for listening.
Thanks for listening. Goodbye.
Thanks for listening, guys. Goodbye.
Bye. See you next week.
Thanks for listening to another episode of the Blind Android Users Podcast. Until we see you next week, don't forget to leave us your comments and suggestions via our email contact or using any of our social media sites. Have a great week.